Apple Gift Card is a practical gift that unlocks a world of entertainment and fun. You can send it via email or give a physical card to your loved ones. Your friends and family can spend it on their favorite Apple services, including Apple subscriptions. Apple Gift Card can be used to buy all things Apple: products, accessories, apps, games, movies, TV shows, iCloud Plus, and more. Visit apple.com for details and to send Apple Gift Cards to your friends and family this holiday season.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And in today's episode, I just wanted to tell y'all it's been 39 degrees, I swear, the whole day. Tomorrow's supposed to be 40. Dang, and it's supposed to be raining on Tuesday. I was gonna go out and try to get the Xbox Series X, bro. It's just it's too much rain, man. They should release them Xboxes like this past week. This past week wasn't really, if they had released it like on Thursday or Friday, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But anyways, I'm like, man, but it's cold. I'm like, man, it's raining. That's too much. But anyways, today was a very good day. Today was probably the best day of 2020. Like, we needed this day. That's why I started thinking about with this today. For those that didn't know, Joe Biden is now our president. Donald Trump is out of that. It's funny, I think more people are celebrating the fact that Donald Trump is out rather than Joe Biden being in. Like, I'm curious to see what Joe Biden is going to bring to the table. I really do hope and wish the best for him in his run, in president and stuff, being the president. But telling you, man, it was like, bro, these past 4 years have been crazy. I'm telling you, ever since Trump has started talking on becoming president, which was like, what, 2015? Man, it was, and it's funny because, like, I remember seeing memes, people, like, oh, he ain't serious, like, this is a joke, this is just, he's trolling, he just out here just trying to get some memes made about him. But then he actually went through with it, and he served 4 years. Like, that is forever going to be in American history, that Donald Trump, the man that was firing people, as a weekly show, he was fighting with Vince McMahon at WrestleMania 23. Okay? He's the least racist person that you will ever meet. This man served as our president. Oh my God. I'm like, man, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that he did it. It was definitely one of those. And it was funny how, because when he got into office, so the same year he got elected as president, that, like, at the beginning of the year, I had started working at that cafe job in downtown Seattle, and literally everybody that I worked with did not like Trump. Everybody, I'm saying, from customers to co-workers, literally the family dogs that will come through our cafe. There were at times when people will bring their pets to work and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not allowed to touch them because I work in the food industry. So I'm like, I give them a little pet on the head. That's about it. But like with me and dogs, like, you would have thought that I owned the dog the way I like to pet dogs, but I've since then relaxed on me petting dogs. I petted a dog not too long ago. I was going out for a walk, and this dog, it was the most like weirdest but coolest dog ever. It was growling at me but was wagging its tail and was allowing me to pet him. And I was just waiting for the moment, like I was preparing my hand to be bitten and stuff. And I know most people will probably think like, oh, you probably only doing that to get paid. It's crazy. I'm like, unless that dog did like some bodily harm, like, to me, like it was ripping skin and, punctured and I'm bleeding all over the place, I think that would be the only time. But if it's like a small little like nick, like it doesn't even do nothing, I won't do anything about it. I'm just like, oh well, like, cause I know how close a person can be with their pet. So, and there has been times when like people's pets have nicked me. I was walking home one day after work, and the woman's dog, because it was like the woman was walking on the sidewalk like where I go into my house and things, and she and I was like, I guess somewhat behind her, and her dog like thought I don't know, it didn't like really, it just kind of like bumped its head, like I wouldn't really say it was a nick, like to correct myself, it didn't really bite me, it just kind of like nudged its head at me. I think it was trying to, but I don't know, maybe I was too close or it was a good defense mechanism. I don't know, but she was all like, she was so scared she thought that something was gonna. I'm like, hey, yo, don't trip about it. Like, I'm not one of them crazy Karens or Kyles that be out here looking for trouble and trying to get people sued or get things taken away from them. But, anyways, but back on Trump and Joe Biden. But no, ever since like working at that cafe job, everybody that I had worked with or I was around had always just said something negative about Trump. Always. You know, and it was people, there was like, and that's one thing that I never did like wish on Trump, and that was something that I did not want to see, but a lot of people were saying that they wanted to see him get assassinated, and I'm like, look, I'm not with that. I'm not with the whole, like, you know, person getting shot and killed and everybody feels better. That's not me. I wouldn't feel better over some stuff like that. You know, my thing was that I want him to, you know, do his thing and stuff, but I want him to fail at it. I want him to just fail, suffer, everybody turns on him, his kids kick him in the legs, his wife divorces him, takes all his money. Like, it's like something, and it was funny how I mentioned this movie because they used it as a meme like these like past few days. And Trading Places, that's the movie I want to reference. I want to see him be like one of the biggest people in the world, all the way down to, and if you watch the movie Coming to America, because both of those movies are kind of like connected somehow, but if you watch the movie Coming to America, you see where it was those two brothers in Trading Places. They made like a cameo appearance in Coming to America, where there was these two homeless dudes. And I'm like, I want to see it to where Trump, he's like living in a normal, regular house like everyone else. You know, he's just, but then that's the thing though. It's like, I feel like he's forever going to, but then again, I'm like, you know, if he did lose everything, if everything just, you know, he got impeached, like all these other crazy things, he didn't have like no Secret Service men, you know, I don't want him to like, you know, no bodily harm to be caused to him, but I just want him to live like a regular American. I want him to be working in Target or Walmart or something, having to deal with people. Like, you go from being president of the United States to doing some stuff like that, man, that's when I feel like that I would have probably cracked like a smile. Like, you know, to just see, I would have cracked a smile a long time ago with everything else happening, but yeah, I definitely, there had been like that genuine smile that I could not, like, it had been something I would have had to, wherever Walmart or Target he worked at, I would have like bought tickets. I would have scheduled out a whole vacation to wherever he worked at. You know, I had found some things in the state that, you know, he had worked at the Target or the Walmart, and they probably wouldn't have hired him. They were like, man, you just tried to run this country into the ground. You was not working for us like that. He had to do something. He had to sell some things, do some things. You know, probably had to create an OnlyFans. Oh, that would be disgusting. I'm like, him and Melania Trump create an OnlyFans account. I honestly though, like, if anybody says like I'll pay for it, like, no, you wouldn't. No, you would not. Don't tell me some stuff like, I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that you would pay for Donald Trump's OnlyFans. That's something that I just don't, you know, I didn't really care for and I didn't really need to hear. So I wish I wouldn't have thought of that. But anyways, but it was funny. It was a good friend of mine that had started working at the cafe with me, and he despised Trump. Like, it was funny because when we hired him on, he was like, you know, he was cool. And even on the last few days of us working there, like throughout the whole time, like, that's why I say he's one of my good friends. Like, he was cool, but he's like it was like one of those situations where it's like, you know, you didn't really expect him to had like, I don't know, like I don't know, I guess I never really think too much on the person's like personality. Like, I don't expect them to have like a good or happy or sad whatever, you know, but he seemed like that he wasn't going to be as active. I don't know, like, I don't know how to really place it in words, but he didn't come off as a type where he was going to be so open-minded about Trump. And man, I'm telling you, he definitely, like, this friend of mine, his name is Jack. He definitely would have been that guy where I'm like, look, Jack, I know we're going to this like Trump like thing, where Trump gonna be speaking and stuff, please do not scream out anything because we're surrounded by Trump supporters. All right, I'm just only here to just crack jokes and make fun of the man. If you stand up on top of something and you start screaming, I am leaving you. Because he just, I don't know, he seems like he would say some stuff, or we mess around and had to fight off like 20 Trump supporters because he unsaid so. That probably would have been me. Like, I ain't gonna put that blame on him. I definitely would have said, I started roasting like half the Trump supporters there. Then next thing you know, it's his fight. It's also going to be his fight. But yeah, Trump supporters, man, I know they're probably just mad right now, just with everything going on. Oh my God, I wish there was this one Trump supporter. I remember when he very first was, in office and was running for president and stuff. There was this one Trump supporter that was on my, I think I might still have videos up talking about this guy. Hold on for a second. Let me see. Let me go up on YouTube and see real quick. TMossBoss Trump supporter. To all Trump supporters. Oh, I did do a video. Oh, yep, I did a few videos. Yep, I did a few. I even did one. Oh, this is like season 3 of my podcast where I did something talking about Trump supporters. But yeah, go watch those videos. This is the first 3 videos that pop up. The guy might even be in my comment sections. I don't know if I didn't delete his comments, but there was this one Trump supporter that I was dealing with where he was trying to force me to support Trump. Like, this dude was straight up commenting on my videos talking about, you're going to support Trump and you're going to like it and you're going to... I'm like, who are you? Like, what do you run here? You run literally nothing on YouTube at all. The only thing that you run is your account. You're going to come at me talking about, I have no choice. I'm going to support Trump, whether I like... Man, who are you? Like, just answer that question. What sorts of power do you have? Like, I would like to know. Like, I would really, really like to know. And watch him. He's going to probably be that, like, crazy, like, Negan type individual if a zombie apocalypse or something were to happen. He'll be like that crazy, like, he owns everything. He has, like, 100 million wives. Like, he's doing all these crazy, weird things. But, in reality, I'm like, what power do you have? Like, to where you think that somebody is going to really bow down or agree with what you're saying, and what they were originally saying is the complete opposite of what you're saying. I will never, as long as I live, I will never, ever support Trump. I would rather have the Teletubbies be president of the United States than to have Trump back in office. Because then I know I'm going to get some actual legitimate entertainment. Like, them Teletubbies ain't never spoke a word of English, but I know it will be some of the most funniest things. Like, honestly, because I'm like, I don't know. A part of me is like, politics can't be a serious thing, but then at times, like, political things can just, be jokes. Like, it just doesn't, like, a whole lot of political things just don't. And I don't know, maybe because I'm just, like, recently kind of started getting into politics. I was never really a political person growing up. I never really had political views or any of that. So when people ask me about something political, the only thing that I would have to say that I really supported that, something that was political was having our first black president, Barack Obama. So that was like the one and only time where I had to say I got political. But I was a kid. I was in middle school when all of that was happening. So, of course, we just going to have the kid answers and stuff saying, oh, yeah, it's cool. We have, like, our first black president to change history, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So it was that basic stuff. Maybe if something like that were to happen now, I'd have more to say about it, and I would do a little bit more studying, a little bit more history and research, and, say some things political. But for the most part, I'm not really a political person. For those that were wondering, I'm pretty chilled and laid back. So, but I never, ever, like, just hearing how Trump acts, talks, the things that he, just does, all together as a collective, I'm like, I never supported any of it. And that was one of the things I posted on Facebook. I'm all like, now that Joe Biden's in office, let's work on getting these Hispanic families out of these cages. Excuse me, because that's the number one thing that we need to focus on. I'm like, I feel like that's the one thing. I don't care about any of the other stuff that's going on in the world right now. I'm like, yeah, focus on the COVID, focus on all, like the big major things. But the number one thing that should be on the list, like there should be a top 5 list. And they're just all them, the things that we should focus on. Number 1 should be freeing them families out them cages. Because I'm saying, I'm like, I know anybody walking the face of this earth would not want to be locked off up in no cage, sleeping in tinfoil. Not even, don't even know where your family is at. You locked off up in there with random people for simply just being a race. Like, to me, I'm like, that's just some like unhuman type stuff. I'm like, I've never heard of nothing like that before, unless it was the prison system. But I'm like, the prison system, it's like, yeah, it's like, wrongful convictions that taking place in prison. But it seems like, but there's like actual legitimate murderers and crazy people that's off up in prison. But it's like, to lock up a kid though, like, what did this kid, an 8-year-old kid, gets locked up in a cage for just being himself? Like, he ain't got no control or no power over that. My thing is, like, to everybody that's with the whole family being locked up in cages and stuff, imagine if that was you. Like, let's say roles were reversed. Like, America was like a Hispanic like ran country. It wasn't a white ran country. It's a Hispanic ran country, and white people, you guys are the ones being locked up in these cages. And I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about the white people that agrees with what's going. Because I know that there's white friends of mine, and they do not like the whole thing about families and kids and all these children, like full on like babies, bro. Full on babies being locked up in these cages. And I'm like, do you really think you would survive some stuff like that? Like, talking to all the racist people in the world right now, do you really think you can survive some stuff like that? Roles reverse. You trying to find you a new form of life in this country and stuff, because it's supposed to be the land of opportunity, the land of the free. They say all these good things about this country. First thing that happens to you, you get locked in a cage. I'm not no zoo animal. Why am I getting locked in a cage? Even zoo animals don't deserve to be locked in cages. If you got people fighting for zoo animals to be sent back to their natural habitat and all of this, what makes you think a family they should take their place? Does that? No, that don't make no sense to me. So I'm saying, like, I spoke highly on that. I'm like, that's something that I never agreed with since day one of it happening. Because I know for a fact, if that would have been me, I would not survive. I wouldn't. I don't think nobody would survive. As much as you want to play the tough person and think, oh, it ain't bad. This is what happens in situations. It's people that talk like that, where it's all like, oh, well, they deserve it if they never would have crossed in our land and stuff. I'm like, okay, well, you keep it when stuff like that, when that happens to you, you keep that same energy. When somebody kidnaps you, holds you against your will off up in some house because they have some political reason, then you keep that same energy. You keep that same energy. When you listen to everything that they have to say, and they're like, oh, well, you overall agreed with Hispanic family being locked in cages, now it's your turn. I'm like, yeah, they don't want that. So I'm like, yeah, to all white people. And I'm not talking, well, I don't know, to racist white people, I guess, because, there's white people out there that are not racist. But yeah, how would that make you guys feel? Your kids is being locked in cages and you can't see them. They was like saying that it was not too long ago, it was like 595 kids don't even know where their parents are at. And that there are a lot of people locked in these cages. If they talking about 595 kids don't even know where their parents at, so them parents can be locked up in the cages somewhere else. They could have been sent deported back to Mexico or wherever, I don't know. But I'm saying, like, that's some stuff I'm like, man, that's just sad. That's really sad. So I'm like, that's, to me, out of all the things that's going on in the world right now, I'm like, I understand, like, COVID's a big deal and we should focus on that too. But definitely them cages, them buildings, all that stuff needs to be torn down. It does. Because I'm like, I wouldn't want it. I'm saying and I know I have like a lot of Hispanic friends. Some of them that was born here, some of them that was born in like different, Hispanic based countries and stuff. I would cry my eyes out if I looked up and seen any of my friends locked in the cages. I would, man, I'm telling you, I know I'm speaking on it like right now, and it seems like, it's something that I'm like, I don't really talk on it on a regular, but I feel like if it was like, some situation like that, where if it was like some friends I know that was, or even if it was family, I ain't got no Hispanic family, but I mean, there are people that I would consider family that is Hispanic, but if I were to see them in cages, I'd cry. I would. And I'll probably be that person where I'll mess around and get locked up in prison trying to free some people. Because I'm like, this ain't normal. This is not normal at all. I'm like, you guys sit there and like, and that's just like questions, people don't want to really answer. It's like, what would you, because I know that it was one of my friends, what she did, it was funny, she did post something about like, there's still time for Trump to, because she voted for Trump. I don't know if she's necessarily a supporter of the things that he said or like did. I don't know. But because I'm like, I would say that, we're still on good terms and things, me and this girl I went to school with. But anyways, but yeah, I remember I was asking her that. And I remember I was asking a few other people that. I'm all like, how would that make you feel? Because they were really trying to like defend that. And I'm all like, there ain't no defense with that. Because I'm like, you guys have kids. Guys should be the main one against this. I'm like, I don't got kids. I don't got a wife. I ain't got none of that. So this is coming from a person that doesn't have the luxury of a family. I mean, yeah, I got like my sister and my parents, that's all the family and my uncles, cousins, and everybody else. But that family spot, having kids, having a wife or a husband, whoever you are, you see them get ripped out of your hands and locked in these cages. How would that make you feel? And that's the thing. I'm like, I don't say things, that's like PG or it's easy for a person to answer. I give them some of the most hardest questions possible. The questions where it's like you have no other choice but to give me the answer that I want to hear. I put people in situations like that. Why? Because that's the only question I feel like that can be asked to a person like that. When you're supporting this lifestyle, a lifestyle that a person can't choose. You have the luxury of living in a house, going back and forth anywhere that you want to go to, travel all across the world. These guys don't. They're trying to have that lifestyle. They're trying to escape from a crazy lifestyle that they're in right now. And then you guys sitting here trying to tell me like, oh, this is what Trump trying to do this, he's trying to do that. It's a plan and it's this and I'm like, there isn't no plan. There isn't no like positive stuff coming out of that. There's people dying in these cages. There is the one story I remember when it came out, and they showed where it was this, and viewer discretion is advised. Like, if this is a little bit too much for your ears, and I would suggest you might not listen to this next part. But I would say listen to it. Just to hear how hard and rough it is for those that don't know. This is how hard and rough it is for people that are not from this country. Because I don't really when people refer to them as like immigrants or aliens or this or that, I'm like, that stuff I'm like, I don't really support. Like, I say immigrants is probably the most PG thing that you could call them. But even that, I'm like, they're still people. Like, they might look different, speak a different language, but they're still people. And that's just the crazy thing about it. And I guess that's probably why I have like so much support in it, because it was just some history that I had read about Mexico and Black Americans. But I'll get to that. But there's a story where, and they showed a picture of it, and I thought that was like probably one of the most like hardest things, especially to be there and to see it. But anything that has to do with death, it's like kind of hard for me to see at times, because I'm like, dang, man, that's messed up. But it was a father and I believe it was his daughter, both washed up on the shore, dead. And they were like, the father was trying to like, cover or protect their child, but their child ended up dying, and both of their bodies washed up on shore. And that was like the biggest picture to really come out of just the whole bad situation with immigrants, or just these people and stuff. So, well, not these people, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Now, I'm not out here sounding like I'm a racist or a Trump supporter. I'm telling you guys, I'm not. I love everybody. Y'all just need to know I'm really bad at words. I am 100% bad at words, so please don't judge me. But anyways, somebody's gonna try to use that against me. They're gonna be all like, TMossBoss referred to Hispanic people as these people, and then they're gonna be like, nah, I have the right to call him the N-word, like saying some old dumb stuff. But anyways, but yeah, that was like one of the most saddest stories I had to say I seen like from this whole situation. And it all happened during like Trump being in office and things. I'm like, man, messed up. But anyways, but then no, the history thing that I wanted to tell you guys about, because I was doing this, I was working on this documentary, but I had lost everything to the documentary. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start all over and get like, working on it and tell you guys just overall about. Cause see, I'm like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a name, but like I guess, I don't know, the term that everybody's been calling them for all these years are fugitive slaves. And I'm like, I don't really, like that name. I'm like, I'm gonna come up with something like a name to, call like, you know, people back then that were in the whole like, like slavery thing, come up with like a better name for them, because I just feel like, referring to these legends, these people that gave like black people an opportunity, I feel like it's kind of messed up calling them anything that has to do with the slave. I'm like, no, it's like these guys ain't slaves, fugitive slaves, none of that. So, but anyways, so back then when slavery was a thing, black people was, of course, like escaping and stuff. And so it was, of course, like I know the majority of slavery took place in down south. So of course you guys know like Mexico is like right next door to down south. And slaves, well, black people would go over and escape to Mexico, and just pretty much would start up a new lifestyle out there. So slave owners will go out to Mexico and be like, hey, that's our slave. They need to come back with us. And Mexico was like, nah, that ain't happening. Slavery ain't here. Slavery is over there. So when they're over there, you can take them. But when they're over here, Mexico was definitely a free country. It might still be a free country. I don't know. But that, I was like, I read that, and that was something that really like brightened my mood about like, and I have to say that's probably why I like ever since I was a kid, I've always had like some sort of love for Hispanic people. Like one of my first friends I remember making when I was in school, in elementary, he was Hispanic. One of the first girls I ever liked in school was Hispanic. What else? The majority of my friends today are Hispanic. I'm like, I will talk more with Hispanic people than anybody else. I don't know why. I'm like, even when I was like the coworkers at my job, that were Hispanic, I was hit it off with all of them pretty much. There was one guy, he kind of had like an attitude problem, but he was like that with everybody. But he was cool on some of his days and stuff. He'll say some funny things here and there. But for the most part, I'm like, yo, any Hispanic person, I always have like some sort of love for them and things. So anyways, I don't know why. I'm weird like that. That's like how like, with white women and like liking black men or something. There's like I'm pretty much like I'm that person, and I'm sorry I shouldn't be, but at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, anybody out there, I'll be cool with them. I don't really care who they are. Asian, black, white, Hispanic, it's whatever. Indian, I don't care. I'm like, I'll be friends with anybody, because everybody is cool as long as you ain't like, some psychopathic like murderer, or, ain't got no crazy lifestyle. Then, yeah, we could be cool. But anyways, but what else? What else can I say? I'm just glad Trump's out of office. That's something I'm like, we really need it. I text. There's like a because one of my there was my friend that worked with me at the cafe. I made sure I texted him and broke the news to him. And I don't know. I'm like, I hope like there's the day like when things clear up and like me and him can hang out. Cause I want to just know like what was you doing the day of, like, cause I texted him early. I texted him maybe like 8 o'clock. I think that's when they broke the news, when they said Joe Biden is now our president. But I texted him early. I don't usually text him early. It'll probably be like late in the evening when we'll start texting and stuff. But I texted him early in the morning, and I'm all like, hey, he's out. Like he's out of office. I just need to. I'm like, man, I imagine him like laying in his bed, then he just gets up and just starts screaming, just so happy, just filled with that. Like that's like the one thing, because I'm like, he was such a chill, laid back dude. Like you never really seen him yell, scream, none of that. So that's why I'm like, I wish I could have been like a fly on the wall. I feel like that, because I know he has a girlfriend. He probably like scared her halfway out of her mind, like woke her up out of her sleep. She out here just, just having like one of those, like when you like sleep in the morning and it's so peaceful and relaxing and stuff. And then you just all of a sudden, Jack just gets up, just starts screaming, yeah, and yes, like he's out finally and stuff. Woke up everybody in the neighborhood, but man, I was like, and then I texted Four Souls, go subscribe to their YouTube channel, go show them some love. But I was texting them early in the morning. I texted Priscilla, I texted Zach. I think what else? I've been sharing memes all day. Man, I'm telling you, I've been posting memes all day of Trump. There's this one meme, and it had my parents cracking up laughing. But it was it's some video. I had to find that video. Trump not wanting to leave, but it was like some video. I think it was like a comedy skit, like kind of like a Saturday Night Live type thing. But he was screaming he didn't want to go. All these kids started standing around him laughing and stuff. I'm like, man, that's funny. What other things they showed? I think it was like an old Eddie Murphy movie. He got thrown through some window, and I think it was Eddie Murphy. It sounded like him. I don't know, but anyways, he got thrown through some window, but they photoshopped Trump's face like this is gonna be him at the White House. What are some other memes? Oh man, I was gonna most likely make a comedy skit myself of how Trump was probably gonna be how he was acting in the White House. Cause I'm saying, man, I'm like, yo, he had to have been mad. That was one of those things. I'm like, I would want to see Jack's reaction, the coworker, my friend I used to work with, and Trump's reaction. Them the only two reactions that I really cared for in this world with today's news. I'm like, everybody else is probably gonna be standard, normal stuff. Nobody ain't gonna really, care that much for it and things. It's gonna probably be the basics, like, oh yeah, he's out, yeah. I know for a fact that Jack, my friend I used to work with, hands down, he probably like punched a hole through a wall, head butted the wall. He caused physical harm to a wall. I know he did something, okay? He probably opened up his window. You know how Eddie Murphy was yelling and screaming up and down that street and Coming to America? That had to have been him. He probably ran all the way outside, cold, everything, because I think it was raining a little bit today too. So I know he probably out there in the rain, yelling. Everybody is scared, like, okay, like, bro, it ain't even that serious. Like, why are you this happy? Like, I feel like out of anybody in this world, anybody, even Joe Biden, the level of wanting Trump out of office, Jack hands down, he hands down had that level. I'm like, there was no way possible anybody was going to overpower his passion of wanting Trump out of office. Nobody in this world. I'm like, what was that one woman's name? Nancy Pelosi? Not even her can compare to Jack's level of wanting him out of the office. I don't care what anybody says. I know people will reach out. Y'all can go ahead and reach out to me and be like, nah, it ain't nowhere near as compared to the person that I know. I'm like, I don't care. Jack wanted this more than anybody. Me, I was like, look, like, I still was kind of like on that, like, I was like halfway like with politics and then kind of like halfway out of politics. So I'm like, if he does get reelected, then I'm like, okay, then, system's rigged, blah, 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 same old and stuff. I ain't gonna trip about it and things. Like, I get to wake up to see another day and that's all that matters. So, but I'm like, what was I was originally saying something. I don't know. I'm just still happy, man, because I'm like, dang. Like, he's really out. Like, I'm like, dang, I ain't lost all concentration of thought, trying to make a point here where, well, I know I'm like, for a fact that I'm like, Jack, that's what I was originally saying, like, talking about the reaction. So I know Jack, hands down, probably had the best reaction of all time, of hearing the news of Trump getting out of office. But Trump, out of anybody, even his own supporters could be crying. Remember that one girl that was at his inauguration, and when they announced that Trump was now our 45th president because Biden is 46. When they announced that he was our 45th president, this girl let out this monstrous cry of just crying out no. Like, she was the most, it probably second to really want Trump out of office would be that woman. It would hands down have to be that woman. It's Jack and then that woman and then everybody else. But the person that was like probably really mad about leaving office, of course, Trump. Of course. This man, Trump, he is like, no, this is not happening to me right now. He's like, oh my God, like, this is really happening right now. Melania's trying to calm him down. He's like, look, Melania, just shut up. He's like, before I divorce you. He was like, don't say nothing to me. Because he's like, I know you only married to me for the money. So he's like, I could care less what you have to say right now. Kids trying to talk to him. He was like, you kids are only famous because you have my last name. Don't talk to me. I'm like, do not talk to me. Mike Pence called them up. I like, hey, look, man, we got 2024. He's like, Mike, what did you do? He was like, throughout my whole, they didn't even know who you were. They thought Pence was my name. You did nothing this year besides have a fly land on your head. Like, oh, he's hands down. He went off on everybody. Trump had to go off on everybody. Who else could he have went off on? Joe Biden probably texted him a bunch of laughing emojis, like, just saying that, because I know I would have. That's why I told my parents. I said that if it had been me running for president and I won, I would have held a press conference right there in front of the White House. I'm all like, y'all, you guys gonna really kick me out? I'm like, President of the United States, you're gonna really kick me out in front of the White House? I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, let's see how far. I'm like, I'm the President of the United States. I'm like, Trump, who is he? I'm like, yeah, he got until January. But yeah, I'm like, but currently right now, the person that got elected, I'm like, yeah, I'm president now. I've been looking at people just like that Somalian dude in that Tom Hanks movie. I looked at everybody being like, hey, look, I'm the captain. That's why I'm like, I couldn't be no president, because I'm like, I crack too many jokes. I don't take things seriously. Like, I had seen, saying things like that. I'm only, then it been trending on Twitter. They have been like, President Moss, President, I don't know. That don't seem right. President Moss. President Tyler Moss. See, or maybe they can, President Tyler Jamal Moss. Yeah, that's more of a, because I don't know, President Moss just doesn't really, seem like norms. I'm like, call him, I'm like, my full name. I'm like, not President Tyler J. Moss, not President, Tyler M. No, President Tyler Jamal Moss. I'm like, y'all gotta say my full name. But anyways, what else was I? Oh yeah, but going back on Trump. Yeah, Trump, he hands down. He probably cussed out a few people. Definitely just, he was like, he already got the divorce paper. That's one thing that was all like, I was wondering, I'm all like, when was his wife gonna divorce him? Because that's what I was honestly thinking. I'm like, the whole time when he was running for office, I'm like, I was waiting for the day. That was the one thing that I had prepared. The 4 years that man was in office, when is the day going to come when this shows like Melania Trump's name is trending on Twitter and they're like, she just filed for a divorce? I was hoping I'm telling you, that was the one thing where I was like, the plan. I'm like, I don't want to see, Trump like get the easy way out, like, somebody assassinate him. I want Trump to suffer. So I'm like, some stuff like that, he gets a divorce while he's president, bro. Like, y'all gotta understand, that would have been some trending stuff. That would have been some stuff going on Twitter. I've been like, yo, I gotta know what's going on. So somebody's gonna have to personally invite me to the White House, because I would like to see what's going on right now behind doors. But yeah, I was like, that definitely, he's definitely gonna lose out on money and a bunch of other stuff. That man, he's Dave Chappelle's hosting Saturday Night Live. That's cool. He just recently got out his TV show on Netflix. I thought that was pretty cool. I probably might watch me a couple of episodes. But anyways, yeah, today was a good day. It was a really good day. I feel like, now it's like referencing Ice Cube, because, he was out here trying to support the wrong person. I'm all like, today was a good day. So, congratulations to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I didn't feel like I didn't really speak anything on Kamala Harris. I'm like, I don't know, like, I should focus. I think that's what I should do. I'm like, you focus so much on the president, you don't really focus that much on the vice president. But I'm like, no, congratulations to her for being like, you're the first, like, I'm like, no, I'm like, this is like some positive things to live with. You know how, like, when they're like, you gotta live with this for the rest of your life, but it's mostly said in like a negative thing. Like, I'm gonna use this as a positive thing. Like, Kamala Harris, there's a little bit of positivity. You are the first, like, black woman. I'm like, but there's like more to it. There's like more to her race and things, because she is mixed, I believe. Like, I think she's like Asian and black, but whatever. That, and you're a woman, and you have power in a political party. Like, you are the vice president of the United States. You're gonna have to live with that for the rest of your life. There ain't no taking that away. Like that's some good stuff right there. I'm like, yeah, Joe Biden. He's just, I feel like not to be sound like not to sound disrespectful or to be disrespectful. Like, no, congratulations to Joe Biden too. But I'm like, it's just typical. Like, it's something that you would see. Like, yeah, we had our like first black president, and that was probably one of the dopest times of our lives. But Joe Biden, a white president, there ain't no problem with that. So if he's in it for the good intentions and stuff, then that's all that matters. But Kamala Harris, how many times have you seen somebody like her be in her position right now? So yeah, Kamala Harris, I'm like, I feel like she doesn't even need like no talking to or whatever, like people that talk about this situation. I'm like, the situation explains itself. So I'm like, but I hope that's one thing that I do hope for. I'm like, that they fix what Trump destroyed. He definitely destroyed America. 4 years he was in office, he definitely destroyed America. I'm like, Trump, I sent the tweet out to him. He ain't gonna see the tweet because he had like a bunch of other tweets, but he was all like, oh, the current sitting president has all these votes and stuff. I'm like, yeah, and you still lost. So what are you trying to prove here? Nobody don't care about that. You still lost. I'm like, yeah, he might not be in office right now, but he's going to be Joe Biden. I'm like, yeah, he's going to be the current president with the most votes because his votes, I'm like, yeah, he trying to make it seem like, oh, everybody else that voted for Joe Biden, like, oh, their votes don't matter, but his does. I'm like, man, get out of here. But anyways, yeah, sore loser. That's what people have been calling him all day, sore loser. So, but anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And I have a merch store. I actually have like some presidential merch for myself, a TMossBoss 2020 merch. Y'all can go check that out. Pretty funny. I was just like, yeah, I just said like vote for TMossBoss and then TMossBoss 2020. So yeah, go check that out. Got some merch coming out soon. Think I'm gonna actually work on some merch. Actually, yeah, probably after I do this episode. So yeah, let me go ahead, open up the website, work on some things. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.